This is hypnotic authenticity. This is a space for inner clarity, where hypnosis meets self-inquiry, where the stories that you carry can become gentle invitations for change. We're going to explore identity, emotional harmony, and authentic living through subtle, mindful approaches and a really, really good sprinkling of hypnosis. So take a slow, deep breath and let's begin.
Hi, I'm going to talk today about what you think you're capable of, and therefore your self-esteem, your self-confidence, and so on. And you can go further with this. You can go to your whole sense of identity, your sense of worth, your sense of your place in the world. And I'll skip straight to the punchline. The punchline is these are all stories running inside of your head, and everything is changing, and you're so much more than that. But how do we get to the punchline? Okay, consider your brain encapsulated inside your skull that's been trying since before you can recall to make sense of the world from its inputs, from its eyes, ears, nose, information superhighway of nerve sensations, temperature, pain, all these things. It's been trying to make sense of the world. And we know from a neuroscience perspective that what fires together wires together. In effect, the nerves that we use repeatedly, they become insulated. They have a myelin sheath of insulation, and so they become more potentiated. It's like a nerve becoming an interstate, a motorway. And similarly, the nerves that we do not use, they kind of wither, they become like a B road, and eventually they just kind of disintegrate because they're not being used. So from before we can recall, we've been trying to make sense of the world. And we learn, okay? We learn through experience. And it's very rare that we learn from the average experiences. We tend to learn from the extreme events at either end of the bell curve, okay? Much like the world is changed by the extreme events at the ends of the bell curve. It's not usually from the events which occur every day. So from that very early age, we learn through our moments of success and our moments of failure, our moments of fear, our moments of pain, what's right, what's wrong, what works for us, what doesn't. Whether we can influence other people, whether we are good with people, whether we upset others, whether we are sensitive ourselves, all these things come through staccato, ad hoc events, junctures in our life that for whatever reason have significance and come to be a part of our label of ourselves. We learn from how we deal with those issues. So we learn these at a very, very early age. And then every event that we come across subsequently that feels a little bit like that earlier event, we see in the reflected light of that earlier event, and we evaluate ourselves accordingly. So most of the time, what happens is that we recompound our earlier opinion about ourselves and our strengths and weaknesses based upon those earlier events. So things that fit that, we kind of go, yeah, that's me. Experiences that don't fit that, we're more likely to kind of say, for whatever reason, well, that wasn't really me, that was chance or whatever. And so we build up a rather robust definition of ourselves. So all I want to say here is that that definition has been created by chance events over which we had, in the main, let's say, at least, very little control. They came to us from outside of the world. Maybe some of the events we engineered and we dealt with them however we dealt with them, but many of them were unforeseeable. And that becomes our definition of how we work, how we deal with others, how we deal with challenges. So it turns out it's just an interpretation. If you consider the kind of the subconscious and the conscious with an interplay between them, the subconscious or the non-conscious or whatever you wish to call it, is responsible for all the habituated automatic processes. The conscious for the thinking things, for the chattering mind, the worrier. Our conscious mind can't think of many things at the same time. Apparently we can think of between sort of 3 and 9 things at any one time. Men, I'm sure it's debatable if they can even make it as far as 3 things at any one time. Whilst our subconscious can operate multiple thought processes at the same time because they've all been habituated, they're all automatic. So our conscious mind is very good at habituating and automizing one-offs, much like driving a car. It's hard, it's complicated, but then once you've got it, you hand it over to the subconscious, you hardly even know you're doing it anymore. This is a great skill. But unfortunately, it can limit us because the stories that are running around inside our head also appear to be part of that non-conscious, that subconscious. They're running ordinarily out of sight of our conscious mind, but they are defining us. Okay, so the experiences from our past that come to generate these stories that are then handed to our subconscious come to define us. They define our fixed ideas. They define our gut reactions. They define what we consider to be safe or unsafe, comfortable or uncomfortable. And because they're running around inside our subconscious, we're not really aware of them. So all I'm really trying to say from this is reconsider yourself in the light of that. Okay? So your assumptions are based around those stories. Your motivations, your goals, your values, they're all based around those stories. But those stories were created by chance occurrences that happened, that mostly were randomly occurring, that just happened to come to you from the world. So you lived an experience that you labeled, and then when it comes up again in the future, it feels like you. So the only question then is, what does it take to permit yourself to relabel those stories? And for a start off, you need to work out what those stories are. Okay. So we're at the punchline. The punchline is you are capable of far more than you think you are. But you'll probably get in your own way because your fixed ideas define where you feel safe and when you don't. So there needs to be a mechanism whereby you have a sense of adventure or curiosity or a leverage in not doing things outside of your comfort zone. That can work as well. You either progress or die sort of thing. If you don't experience new thoughts, then you're just withering. You want to grow personally. That's another way of kind of carrot and sticking it. But ultimately, if you can find ways to face your fears and do it anyway, to coin the book, to accept that the perception that you have today is merely a narrative. And, we love stories. Everybody loves stories, but they're only stories. Take a step back and be prepared to rewrite the story. That's all. So the point is, as I kind of said before, everything is changing. So the story can change. So our capabilities can change. The only thing that is stopping it from changing, because it automatically changes, the world turns. The only thing that stops it from changing is us maintaining our current story, repeatedly throwing wood on the fire. And that's unnecessary. It might be comfortable. It might be predictable. But if there are parts of your life that are annoying you, that you want to improve, the way to do it is to investigate what's the story underneath and consider, is that really me? And if it's not, maybe you don't know what to do, but you know what not to do, which is to repeat that story again. Try something else. Try playing. Try being like a big kid again and seeing what happens, having a sense of curiosity. And yeah, you can really, really grow your sense of your own capabilities, of your place in the world, of how other people react to you, and therefore, second degree, your sense of self-confidence, your sense of self-esteem. I don't know if that falls well on you or not. It's something that I firmly believe in, though, the power of the stories that are running inside of our head. I keep referring to Carl Jung's archetypes as well. This is an element of the story. It's the particularly emotive characters that we identify with inside of our stories. And these characters are also generated from the powerful events of our past. They're the ones that we relate to for some reason or other. The underdog, the magician, the carer, whatever it may be. They're all stories, but they come to drive the direction in which our lives go. And they tend to create brick walls in directions that we will not go. So all I'm saying is reconsider those stories. I hope that's useful. If it is, let me know. If you've got questions, if I haven't really explained it particularly well, I'm sorry, let me know and I'll kind of give a different analogy. But I hope it might be useful. If you like it, have a look at the other videos. They're less opaque than this one. Some of them are much more specific. And yeah, send me your comments. Okay, thanks a lot and take care. Bye.
Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If it resonates with you, then follow my podcast. I would also personally be really grateful if you might wish to leave a quick rating. It genuinely helps others to discover the podcast. If you personally would like more guided meditations, you want some deeper insights, you'll find all my links in the description. If you prefer a more visual boost, then you might want to check out my YouTube channel called Authentic Life Hypnosis. And if you're looking to do some deeper work that goes beyond one-way audio, then obviously you're very welcome to reach out. Equally, if you have any questions, I'm here to help. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.